is happening, my friends? Welcome to the Arrington Gavin Show, your go to spot for sharp insights, bold opinions, and unfiltered takes on the biggest stories of the day. Whether it's politics, sports, pop culture, or even the latest buzz, look, we're diving deep and keeping it real. So do me a favor, kick back, stay informed, and get ready to join the conversation. My friends, as always, thank you so much for taking 1 hour of your time to tune in to yet another great episode of the Arrington Gavin Show. This is, I believe, episode 291. That's right, 291. I want to thank you all for who has stuck with us since the beginning, prior to when we even made it a video format of a program. We initially just did strictly audio, and then we had changed it up and said, well, you know what, let's everybody loves a good visual piece to it. So yeah, we switched it off, I believe, after like episode 11, and then we went on to make it video podcast kind of format. So as always, I thank you for sticking with us from the beginning. Look, we continue to grow the platform. I see we grow each and every day with more subscribers, slowly but surely. Look, our goal is to at least hit about 10 subscribers a day, maybe even more than that. But I'm grateful for the fact that we see growth, right? We see growth in our listenerships, viewerships, uh, um, on social media as well. Speaking of social media, do me a favor, be sure to follow us on our social media platforms, Instagram, Blue Sky, X, as well as Substack, all at the Arrington Gavin Show. So our handle is the Arrington Gavin Show, all together, one word. And yeah, Instagram, Blue Sky, X, and Substack. Also, look, there's multiple ways you can tune into the platform. As you know, we drop new episodes of the show. Um, Monday through Fridays. All right, we're 5 days a week. You can catch us digitally on a digital and streaming platforms of YouTube as well as Rumble. Okay, we drop new episodes Monday through Fridays, YouTube, Rumble, as well as on Goatverse TV network. As you know, we've joined them, and you can catch episodes of the Arrington Gavin Show on their network. Do me a favor, you can download the app. It's free by going to the App Store, Google Play Store for you Android users, Roku, as well as Amazon Fire. And you can also listen to us wherever you listen to your podcasts. Available on all major podcast platforms: iHeartRadio, Spotify. We're a nationally syndicated podcast, so you can catch us on all podcast platforms. You can also uh, tune into reruns of our show Monday through Fridays at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, uh, with our radio affiliate WDJY 99.1 FM out of the Metro Atlanta area. So we want to thank them for partnering with us and sharing our message out there to their audience. So as I mentioned, we are growing. We're hopefully to get it on more radio affiliates as well. So yeah, couldn't do without them. I see at the bottom, whoever's watching, if you're watching this episode right now, you see at the bottom I put down the information about Goatverse TV. Okay, Goatverse TV. Download the app. It's free, no hidden fees, none of that stuff. So it's an amazing platform, a growing platform with so many other great personalities and content creators out there. So I'm honored to be a part of such great company. All right, what else do we have going on here? Look, let's start off with our fun fact of the day, and then we're gonna get going with paying some bills and shine out some of our amazing sponsors and supporters of the show. First and foremost, okay, let's get started with the fun fact of the day. So, did you guys know that Scotland has over 400 words for snow? Over 400 words for snow. All right. For example, they have one that's pronounced sneasel. All right. Sneasel, Sneesl, which basically means the beginning to rain or snow. And then we have feefle, 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 which stands for swirly snow. So interesting. I'm like, how can you like have 400 words meaning this term? Like we only have snow, 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 or snow. It's so interesting. So look, that is our fun fact of the day. But look, let's get it going with some more of our proud supporters, like our friends over at Bernardo's Menswear. Let me go ahead and shout out our awesome supporters of the Arrington Gavin Show, like Bernardo's Menswear. So, attention, gentlemen, it's time to elevate your wardrobe. Now, at Bernardo's Menswear, they believe style isn't just about clothes, it's about making a statement. From tailored suits that fit like a dream to casual essentials that define effortless sophistication. At Bernardo's, they have it all. All right, casual, business casual, custom, you name it. It is top tier. When I tell you, my friends, top tier. For more information, you can go online to bernardosmenswear.com. Again, that's bernardosmenswear.com. He is a dear friend, and he hooks you up with some amazing threads. As I mentioned earlier, making sure that your appearance is sharp is extremely important, especially if you happen to be a business owner, a media personality like myself. If you happen to be involved in a lot of networking events, it is extremely important for you to make sure that your brand is taken care of. And guess what? Your appearance is a part of your brand. So go ahead, hook yourself up with some amazing threads over at Bernardo's Menswear. As I mentioned before, bernardosmenswear.com. You can also visit him and his store location. If you happen to be in the Hampton Roads, Virginia area, Norfolk, Virginia, first floor of the MacArthur Mall, Bernardo's Menswear. It is sharp, it's cool, I mean, it keeps you looking fresh from head to toe. He also has other accessories as well to add to your wardrobe. So again, I want to thank them for being a proud supporter of the Arrington Gavin Show. All right, my friends, look, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Do not go anywhere. We have a lot more show for you. We'll be right back after these commercial breaks.
Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Order our scented beard oils and beard balms to help you maintain and grow the perfect beard. Order today. Try our men's care products like the full body exfoliating cleansing bars, body wash, smooth stash, and more. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Rugged Evolution Beard Care. We're your luxury but affordable men's care line. And remember,
rugged is the new smooth.
And we still in traffic.
Don't look familiar, do I? Not in this seat.
Hey, what's that you listening to?
Here to host today.
Hey, turn it up.
Yeah, that's that new GoatVerse app. I got you.
So y'all want to know where the goats are? They're off on the sidelines.
Looking for fresh, relevant content wherever you go?
What was the name of that he said?
Introducing GoatVerse TV.
GoatVerse, that's what it's called.
The free streaming app that brings you the best podcasts, current events, and thought-provoking opinions all in one place. Download it now from the Apple Store or Play Store. In Goats, we trust.
All right, my friends, welcome back to the Arrington Gavin Show. I am your host, your homie, Arrington Gavin. Hope you all are having a wonderful evening. Thank you again for tuning in to another great episode of the Arrington Gavin Show. Look, first story of the day that I want to get going is, look, Megachurch Founder indicted on child sexual abuse charges. So I don't know if y'all have heard this story, but it's made headlines, it's made national news, and it's sad the fact that we live in a world where, I mean, hell, you can't even trust your own pastor. And here's the thing too. When it comes to, I'll say, religion, it is a very profitable industry. Now, I'm a man of faith. I love the church that I go to. I love my, our minister, and there is a way of, spiritual leaders to gain success, right? The larger the flock, the more success it is. That, you can't help that, right? But you do have those who can come across as very flashy. You have I don't know the man's first name, but I know last name's like Duplantis, Kenneth Copeland's guys that asked their congregation for private jets. Okay, there's ministers literally with gold-plated toilets in their home. There's some of them that just extremely flashy. I'll just say like that. Now, do you have some that are extremely successful that are just flat out um 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 honest and you know why they are successful, right? They have great messaging. Like one of my favorite pastors is well, bishops is TD Jakes, right? He's not, set aside from him being involved in the church, he's one of our greatest motivational speakers and talkers of our time, right? You have folks from all walks of life that are, read his books, go to his lectures and this and that. Like it is very, very, very important that you do have individuals like that in our society, because we got uh um a lot of evil in our world, right? And there are folks that we have to, rely on to help guide us through that path. But it's sad that you have folks who take advantage of people, right? With their success, with their money, with taking advantage of the poor, and again, it's extremely unfortunate. But let me go ahead and discuss this story. Let me bring in this graphic for you all to give more of a visual for those who are watching. So this is reported by Associated Press. Former Texas mega pastor indicted in Oklahoma on a child sexual abuse charges. So, gentleman's name is let's see, Robert Preston Morris. Robert Preston Morris, and he has since resigned from his position after a woman accused him of sexually abusing her in the 1980s, has been as I mentioned, indicted on child sexual abuse charges. um he's been charged with 5 counts of lewd and indecent acts with a child. The alleged abuse started in 1982, when the victim, referred in the indictment as CC, was 12 years old, and Morris was a traveling evangelist staying in Hominy, Oklahoma. There we go. With her family. Uh, the abuse alleged continued for 4 years, y'all. 4 years. Says here that the victim, or the accuser, said in a statement that she is very grateful to the authorities who have worked to make the indictment possible, and is hopeful justice will ultimately prevail. After almost, says here in another statement, after almost 43 years, the law has finally caught up with Robert Morris for the horrific crimes he committed against me as a child. Now it is time for the legal system to hold him accountable. I mean, it's a lot, my friends. It's a lot. It's a lot of that to impact there. So I want to read a little more on this gentleman, just to kind of give a background on Mr. Morris, because I'm curious to see how large is his following. Says here he served as senior pastor, obviously until 2024, due to what I just spoke about. Let's see here. All right, he founded Gateway Church in South Lake, Texas in 2000, and as of 2024, the church has a weekly attendance of 25,800 members in its several locations across the Dallas-Fort Worth metroplex. 25,000. Y'all hear me? 25,000. In addition to his pastorship, he has published several books. He has his own televangelist program in around 190 countries. I mean, the list goes on and on. He's worked with the Texas Governor Abbott in supporting the unsuccessful Texas bathroom bill, which was aimed towards requiring transgender people to use restrooms corresponding with their biological sex in 2022. During a Sunday service, he displayed the congregation a list of church members who were candidates in local elections across the North Texas, all of them on the ballot, school board, yada yada yada. Which was a lot of folks are criticizing, saying you should have mixed politics with religion, but I will say a lot of your local pastors and leaders, they're local leaders. They are, some of them are activists for the community. A lot of them are they hold a lot of titles. So I get it. A lot of folks don't like the whole mixing religion you hear me, Aaron? Religion with politics. But look, as I mentioned before, on many of episodes, politics is a part of everyday life. Love it or hate it, it is a part of everything. There's politics involved in everything. There's politics involved in you going to the grocery store. There's politics involved with you going to a restaurant. There's politics involved with you going shopping. There's politics involved with you waking. I mean, there's politics in everywhere. But going back to this case is it's very disheartening. I obviously uh innocent until proven guilty. He's been indicted. I don't know if he's been found guilty yet, because it's still an ongoing case. But it's sad that this is not a unnormal thing that occurs, if that makes sense. We hear a lot of ministers getting their hands dirty with the law, um whether if it's as worse as child sex charges, or drugs, fraud, not paying their taxes. I mean, we hear this often, and it's extremely sad, because at the end of the day, we live in a society where greed is the worst thing that you can possibly imagine that's taken over. Is greed, power, dominance. Again, I mean, you have mega pastors. My thing is, you got pastors out here asking churches for helicopters, private jets. Last time I checked, I'm pretty sure the Lord can fly coach. Like, I mean, he can fly commercial. Be goodness gracious. Private jets, multiple private jets, mansions, you name it. It is just it's and I'm not saying telling people how to spend their money. I'm not saying that. But you have folks who are humble of the success that they had, and they're givers. But you have folks that will flash their wealth on the pulpit, right? You have folks like that. You got pastors that's rocking Louis Vuittons. You have pastors that's rocking Rolexes and red bottoms and this. It's just to me, it's just it kind of it turns my stomach. It really does. It just and again, I'm not trying to be a hypocrite, because best believes if I had the money, I would definitely, treat myself to some nice clothes and nice things. But it's just, you have to be careful, because when your gift is to bless others in their faith journey, and a lot of them that give to your church in order for you to keep staying open, and they're struggling. I don't know. I gotta, that just rubs me the wrong way. But as for this guy, I don't know. He kind of yeah, he just we will continue that there. I'll leave it at that. We will continue this case. I know a lot of folks saying, well, wow, why so long? Because we hear this all the time when it comes to charges being brought back from the past. Why so long? What took forever? Look, for one, you have to realize the court systems were a lot different structured back then too. uh Abuse of power. When you have money and power like that, trust and believe. Oh, he can, and he's buddy with the governor of Texas. Come on. Obviously, folks can pull some strings. Now, also, you don't know the torment. You don't know the 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 horror that those moments cause for that individual, who, again, as a child, you don't know what's happening. You really just don't know. You do not know. Now, obviously, with the help of shows on TV, Law and Order or SVU and other things, like, and again, that's if the little kid is allowed to watch something like that. But it's parents are always teaching their kids, okay, when this, you don't do this, you don't do that. I mean, it's hard. It's really hard for kids who are very that are unknowing of like, what is going on? I didn't know what's this. I didn't know what's that. And then you have pervs out there in the world that will sway them. I mean, it's just, don't get me started, man. But excuse me, we will continue this convo because as I mentioned, it is a ongoing court case. But we will see. We will see. Let's see. Let's go ahead and move it on to our next story. Hold on. My tablet went out on me. There we go. Let me make sure okay, perfect. I don't know what all the okay, yes. I'm over here making sure like all my stuff is still good. It's still intact. Alrighty. Excuse me. All right, let's move it on. So I don't know if y'all have checked out this show. My wife has had me. I will say she got me hooked on a recent program on Netflix, and it's something that's out of my wheelhouse of shows that I normally watch. Right, my wife loves cooking and baking shows, especially when it's like the holiday season. When it's the holiday season, you have different baking competitions and whatnot. She loves shows like that because my wife's a baker. She cooks. She's an amazing cook, and so I take it like she watches it to get ideas, things like that. So America's favorite Meghan Markle. I mean, to some, I don't know for all, but Meghan Markle has a new show on Netflix called, I want to say it's called With Love, or is that what it's called? With Love with Megan or something. Um, what the hell is this thing called? Yeah, with Love Megan. And so it shows it if y'all are familiar with how shows like Martha Stewart show, Barefoot Contessa, typical cooking shows that takes place in a home, and you cook new recipes, this and that and the other, and you even make little arts and craft things. I mean, it's an interesting show. My initial opinion on it was like, this crap is boring, and I'm not trying to call it crap, but I'm just saying it's boring. I don't know why. Like, why are we watching this? This is so plain. And another thing was, it just showed how vanilla acting Megan is. Like, she's so like corny but sweet at the same time. Like, it's just, even her jokes were just like it was like she's just typical corny mom homemaker humor kind of thing. um I just made these crepes, and I make my own preserves and jams, and everything's just so organized. I love the sound of freshly made this in the morning. Do you just smell that brew that fresh coffee? Like, when I cut this orange, oh, look at that golden color. Oh, isn't that wonderful? Isn't that beautiful? Like, it was just like, like it was annoying. But the longer you watch it, it's like, okay, interesting. Oh, that's clever. That seems like a meal I can make. That seems like this I can make, this and that and the other. So let's kind of backtrack. Let's go back. So Meghan Markle, who is this Meghan Markle? Meghan Markle was an actress. Now, to my knowledge, because I didn't really know her too much before she was married into the royal family, but my wife caught me on Meghan Markle because one of my wife's favorite shows, one of my wife's favorite shows is Suits. That whole like attorney drama show. And so Meghan Markle was a star from that show, Suits. From there, Meghan, I believe, had like a lifestyle website that was there, but it wasn't as popping as obviously it is now. But she was always into like lifestyle things. And yeah, and then she was a star on Suits. And so eventually her and Prince Harry got married. They fell in love, got married, had a beautiful wedding. She became like the first, it was a win for the culture because, okay, you saw a black woman entering into the royal family, which, let's be honest, all black women, y'all are queens all day, every day. So y'all don't need to join a royal family to say, okay, we're treated as, we're princesses or queen. No, you're already that regardless. She, it was a huge spectacle. It was, it was the first of, it was the first ever, oh, you've seen this and that. And they had a black bishop that was, officiating the wedding. They had a black choir singing all these, old, excuse me, old school black hymns. And I think that's why, for me, a little bit, it was getting a little annoying. And I'll explain why in a few. But you had all that beautiful celebration, the England, the UK, everybody was so excited. Oh, she's beautiful. She's this, she's that. Another, the son who was single, right? The Prince Harry, he's now found love and he's having, this is beautiful. Then issue starts to occur. There's allegations of discrimination and racism happening within the family and in the royal group, right? In the under the castle, right? So once you're married to the royal family, there's a lot of duties that you need to to do. It's just like politics, right? You have to go have dinner with this prime minister here. You have to go do this. You have to go do that. You have to go do this, that, the other, and that's 24/7. 24/7. You are compensated. You already have free room and board, because I mean you get paid all that stuff, security, you name it, you're taken care of. Now, Prince Harry was always kind of like the rebel in the bunch. And what I mean by that is Prince Harry was the kid that, where is he at? Oh, he's seen partying with ladies. He was the eligible bachelor. He was this, he was that. He had a little more swag than his brother. Hence he pulled off Meghan, right? So with that, and then addition of Meghan saying that it was these allegations going on and stuff like that. And then what made it worse, I guess, for folks who was team royal family and team England and this and the other, they were like, okay, why do you have to have a special sit down with Oprah televised to basically say, hey, look, I'm not saying any names, but this was going on, that was going on, this. I mean, she was basically sharing her frustration with with her time in the royal family. It got so worse, y'all. They end up leaving, pulling away from the duties of royalty. They're still obviously a part of family. It's the blood. They're still a part of they're still royalty, but they separate. They leave and move to United States, move to California, and then all the money starts flowing in for them, as far as like, hey, look, let's do a podcast, let's do a book deal, let's do a documentary, let's do a few films, let's do a production, let's do everything you think of. So it wasn't like they're walking on the side of the street with their little stick and clothes wrapped in a bag and just like, hey, can I get a ride? No, they were fine. They're still royalty. But it caused a lot of conflict. It caused a lot of issues with folks like Piers Morgan, right? Piers Morgan, that's a whole nother conversation. But I mean, Piers Morgan was one of their biggest critics, cost him, you can say, his job at the time. It led him into a new kind of path of being unfiltered and being kind of the anti woke, as they say, kind of person. Likewise, Sharon Osbourne. I mean, there were so many people that could, of course, the far right and the Republicans could not stand Meghan. The opposite is on the on the left. And so I say all that to say she was already fighting back critics. And then you're talking about, hey, we have these projects coming up. So it says that she signed a $100 million deal with Netflix. It was her and Prince Harry. They signed a $100 million deal with Netflix. So again, remember, before royalty, she was just a typical actress, co-star on a popular show. That was all. But once you hit that royalty and all the press and everything is on you, that gains value for them. Because look, $100 million, it's like, what do they have that's really worth that? Like, what are they going to be sharing that's $100 million, project? So there were speculations, like insiders were saying that Netflix is done with Meghan. They're tired of it. They can't wait until they finish this up. Now, look, she's received critics. She's received bad critics from or bad reviews from show critics and movie critics. Let's see. Some had said like the show was fake. It was this is not how she's playing this role as Susie Homemaker kind of thing, and I can do this and that and that and this, and it's like, okay, this is not real. That's why it's gross, because it's so fake. It's not. And a lot of those are saying, oh no, it's really great because it got renewed for a second season, so obviously it helped with the viewerships, and Netflix audience loved it. But let's be honest, movie critics, um people that review shows and this and that, they suck, because it's the total, their reaction is always going to be the total opposite of the public. Point blank, period. Whatever the public says is they love, the show, the network's going to say, okay, keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving. The reason why I'm coming back to when I mentioned of when Meghan had a black pastor, a black choir perform all these black hymns, to me, it's like, okay, I saw that. Now, when I watch the show, I'm like, it seems like the opposite, because you say you love your 70s soft rock and that and this, and you do a lot of stuff that's in my mind like, I'm waiting for the black to come out of her. The only thing I know black about her is her mama. That is it. Y'all could have fooled me when I never saw Megan's mama. I was like, oh, you sure she really, it was interesting. It was interesting. But let me continue. Anyway, her program with Love Meghan, which sees the former actors as she joins while flower arranging, making cocktails, among of other domestic duties, has been panned by critics and viewers as echoing their dissatisfaction. A bake-off judge, Leith, appeared on Good Morning Britain recently, along with her husband John Playfair, to discuss their show Cotswold Kitchen. The host had asked if they have watched Meghan's program, and the individual said, "No, I have only read about it, but honestly, I wouldn't watch it. I'm not a Meghan Markle fan. All the touchy-feely mindfulness, endless worrying about what creams you put on your hands. I mean, people really are dogging Meghan. Now, I think they're being a little overboard. And again, that's folks from the other side of the pond that says, hey, look, this is how I feel about Meghan. I don't appreciate her, how she criticized, because a lot of folks that love the royal family. There's a lot of people that worships the late queen and princes and all that other stuff. So she's receiving that heat. But at the end of the day, hey, look, her show's making is a hit. She is making money. It is like a guilty pleasure for me, because I'm like, I don't like it, but I like it at the same time, because it's just so boring. Look, Barefoot Contessa, her name was Ina something. I don't know her full name. My mom used to always have her on TV, like I think on a weekend or something. I'm like, who is this plain Jane baked potato talking lady? Like, it was just so corny and so boring. She talks so soft and pleasant, and just like, okay, so next we're gonna put those biscuits in the oven. Can you just smell it? Oh, so lovely. So lovely. Oh, look at that golden brown color. Yum. Now we're gonna get the berries, this homemade syrup that I just made. Oh gosh, it's just that grittiness, that butteriness. It is so wonderful. I hate shows like that. I'm like, just eat it. Like, like, why are you making all this explaining? Like, why are you bringing up all these names just to kind of stretch out time for your show? Like, it's just like, okay, you put it in the oven, you took it out, now you're about to do this. Like, just give us a basic steps. Don't give us like, oh, look at that beautiful color of that. It's just it makes me nauseous. But long story short, y'all, check out Meghan Markle's show if you haven't. I know a lot of folks that are saying I will not, because they listen what the public says and all this other stuff. It's interesting. She has folks from philanthropists, actresses, some of her close friends. All of her friends, by the way, are rich. So it's pretty funny. A lot of the stuff that she does is for people that have a lot of time on their hands, or a lot of wealth, and it ain't for the common person to just say, okay, I'm gonna go in my garden and make my own butter and preserves and all that stuff. We ain't got time for that, Megan. We ain't got time for that. We look, the economy is not where it's not where it needs to be, and look, we trying to find stuff on sale and this and any other. We ain't got time for all that. But anyways, check it out. go and check out the show. With Love, Meghan. With Love, Meghan is the name of the show. My wife and I, we've already completed the whole show, and yeah, most likely we'll probably look forward to the second season. It's a good show to go to sleep on. Like, it's a good show to just put on your TV. I'm gonna take a little nap now. Keep it moving from there. Let's see how we're looking with our time. Let's go ahead. We're gonna take another commercial break. Do not go anywhere. You are tuning into the Arrington Gavin Show. We'll be right back after this commercial break. All righty, my friends. Welcome back to the Arrington Gavin Show. I'm your guy, your host, Arrington Gavin. All right, next up on the chopping block. Let's see. So recently, rapper, actor, Lil Yachty, like if there's not any more Lils that are in the world of hip hop, Lil Yachty was recently on, I believe, a streaming show. I don't know the name. Let's see here. Yeah, it's not giving me a name of it was a cooking show with Quinlan Blackwell. I'm not too familiar who this young lady is, but she recently had him on, and she was kind of asking him some questions in regards to what charities have you gave to, right? Would have been some charitable contributions you have made throughout your career. And so there was one that he said he did not, and he said it was because it's a scam. So no, I don't give money. So let's go ahead and play that soundbite for y'all.
You spent $100,000 on a trip to Disney once. How much have you spent on charitable causes this year? Let's start cooking these pancakes.
This year technically just started. So this year, it's hard to.
What about last year?
Well, last year, it's hard to gauge.
All right. So what about the year before last year?
Oh, well, that year, that's a good year. Yeah, it's just blurry. I'll be doing so much.
BLM? Since you want to be so black power?
BLM is a scam.
Clip that. Send it to the fucking news.
BLM was literally a scam. They had bought mansions, and you probably wouldn't know anything about it because you don't care about black people. You don't follow black
I do care about black people. Look at my chocolate.
So boom, you heard that portion. What he had said is that no, I did not give him. BLM is a scam. BLM, which stands for Black Lives matter. So again, the question that the young lady had asked was, because Lil Yachty was on, I think it was on Club Shay Shay, the Club Shay Shay podcast with Shannon Sharp, and he had told him that he had spent so much money on a date that didn't even end him, it didn't even end up him getting lucky at the end, of the day. And I don't think, obviously, the relationship didn't even work out. So she said, after mentioning that, she's like, have you ever gave to any charitable donations? This and that. And he's like, oh, you got me. And then she just predicted, she just asked BLM, which I would have played more of the show, but I mean more of that clip. But the funny part is, he had said, you wouldn't really know that because I mean you have like all white staff here. She's like, it's predominantly POC, predominantly Caucasian, and then they left it at that. But obviously, she said clip that when he said that BLM was a scam. Now he's been receiving some heat because they're like, whoa, what you trying to say? Now, to defend Yachty, he was talking about the organization. Now, I'm not saying it was a scam, but I will say there were several stories involving the organization getting caught up in fraudulent things, right? Taking money from, that were donations, whether if it was on the local chapters or the executive side. I actually have a list of several of those issues of why he, this kind of helps his case. Several, let's see, including the leader of a local chapter and executive of the Black Lives Matter Global Network founding, has been accused or convicted, of defrauding donors and misappropriating funds. First story, this is on a local chapter, BLM Greater Atlanta. A man by the name of Serge Major. I've spoken about him before on the show. He was sentenced to 42 months in prison for wire fraud and money laundering after a jury found him guilty of defrauding donors of over $450,000 to his nonprofit Black Lives Matter of Greater Atlanta. That was one story. Another one, Shalomia Bowers, the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation, an executive, is accused of siphoning more than $10 million from donors. A lawsuit was filed against Bowers, the foundation, his consulting firm, and unnamed individuals. Another person who was a last name Salim, I can't pronounce that first name. Bristol Black Lives Matter March organizer, was jailed over a $33,000 fundraiser fraud, having pleaded guilty to one count of fraud by abuse of position in retaliation. There's been more, and that's just to name a few. I know there was at one point, one of the executive leaders, it was suspect the fact that she had multiple mansions, multiple properties, and she was saying, hey, look, that's money that I have saved and I worked for that. And I mean, that could have been true, but they were just saying, again, it looks suspect. Hey, I go back to the whole, mega pastors having a certain lifestyle. If you work, really, if you're in a field, if you're in an industry that is more nonprofit and there's a lot of money being involved in it, and you are not, you have a interesting way of explaining, okay, why do you have this home here, why do you have that home, right? It's interesting. So I understand, and I get why it can raise some eyebrows. So that's why, I mean, you can't fully be wrong with him explaining the issues happening with the organization. Now, that does not mean that the cause is a scam. The cause and the movement is a huge deal, and it is a needed thing to have within our society. I stand for the cause Black Lives Matter because it does matter. Black Lives Matters do matter. But when it comes to, to going back to Lil Yachty, and again, he's also an individual that he should explain his answer a little more better, especially when he's on a larger platform and folks don't know, and nor does he probably even care. But he should explain more and say, look, the movement alone, I haven't given my money to the movement, but the I mean, not the movement, the organization, but the movement itself, yes, I'm all for it. I'll do what I can. But yeah, the organization it gets caught up in too much shiestiness. And the interesting thing is, I mean, different chapters are even different from the corporate side. Like, I mean, we have one here in the local area of Hampton Roads, and they do a lot of great, great work. I mean, they never asking hungry for money. They keep local leaders accountable. They stand for folks who are being mistreated, minorities who stand, who are caught up in the issue where they've been mistreated. I mean, they're on foot, boots on the ground, 24/7. Um, and so like I said, different chapters do amazing work. It hurts the fact that, hey, their corporate side can always get, caught up in some mess, or another chapter can do something wrong. And again, being that they have that name, Black Lives Matter, it's always gonna attach them to that. They're gonna find some. It's just, I mean, it's just like, hey, look, you work as one job, and this person in Texas works at the same corporation you do, and if they do something wrong, it's gonna attach it to you, even though you don't know the person from a can of paint. But it's like, hey, look, I'm a part of the movement. It's just it's added ammo for them. So yeah, I wanted to share that with you all, just to kind of clarify and give y'all better understanding of, okay, was Little Yachty right? Was he absolutely right? Was it a scam? No, the organization have been caught up in many of issues, but just to flat out say just BLM is a scam is, I mean, you got to do your research, bro. You got to clarify your wording, but yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. Um, and it's funny because a lot of folks who have responded to that said the same thing. Hey, the movement is one thing, the organization is, there's two completely different things, and that's the truth. That is the truth. So I just want to, again, we like to have fun on the show, but I also want to keep y'all informed too, because I don't want this to spread, especially for our young audience that are probably more into, we probably got some Lil Yachty fans here on this show, that tune into the show. And I look, I have no disrespect towards Yachty. He, successful dude, keep doing you. But I'm just, again, want to clarify, because misinformation can grow further, faster, and stretch out longer. And that's the thing. They want you to be misinformed, y'all. People want you to be misinformed. And we don't want that. We do not want that. Let's go ahead and move it on. I'm looking at my time. I'm so proud of myself, because I normally go over, or don't have time to even finish some of the stuff. But let me go ahead and talk some politics, y'all. I gotta talk some politics. I gotta talk some politics. And I don't want folks to think that, Arrington, are you starting to like just be more of a fan of the right now? Because lately you've been talking a lot about the left. Look, I talk about both sides equally, but when one side of the party continues to make a complete ass of themselves, yes, I got to share about it. I got to talk about it. There was a recent polling that showed the Democratic Party's favorability has dropped to a record low. Okay, while and this is by Axios. It says Trump's is up, Dems down in new polling. That new polling shows, this is most registered voters. Let's see here. Most registered voters say in the United States is heading into the right direction, 44%, than at any point since early 2004. Though a majority of 54% still say the country is on the wrong track, according to NBC News polling that was recently. Let's see here. Says here that Donald Trump has enjoyed some of his highest approval ratings in the early days of his second term, though the specifics of the aggressive policies have begun to irk Americans in recent polling. Have we seen the whole town halls issues when it comes to like the conservative and Republican leaders in their districts? I mean, I see them in my backyard all the time. We countlessly see protests happening. But it says here, his job approval rating in the recent poll, 47% matches his all-time highs throughout his political career, with 37% strongly approve and 10% somewhat approves. I want to say, okay, the Democratic Party reached an all-time low in a popularity in NBC polling dating back to 1990. The net 27% of those polled say they have positive views of the party's 20% positive and 7% very positive. Now, in a CNN latest polling, found that the Democratic Party can't even say the word. Lord have mercy. Favorability. Damn. Favorability rating among Americans is now at just 29%, a new low in the outlets polling dating back to 1992. Now, here's some of the reasons in my mind why I think that polling is continuing to creep down. For one, you have huge divisiveness happening within the Democratic Party. The town hall, I mean, not the town hall, the State of the Union was already a huge loss for them, because folks who are frustrated that wants to see the Democrat Party fight, they were very dissatisfied with the way they protested, spoke their mind. Paddles, bingo cards, and that was your way of saying, okay, we're going to stick it to the man. Then on top of that, you don't stand by a man who was trying to fight for a lot of your constituents. And that was Representative Al Green out of Texas. When he left, guess what? Nobody left with him. But guess what? 10 of his colleagues in his own party voted to shut him up. Why? Because they said they respect the position more than they respect the actual call. But here's the thing, y'all. It's a different day and time. I understand there's folks that do respect the position. I respect the position, but I respect the position when there's someone that is at least trying to be civil and not a bully, and not always personally attacking folks, and not always trying to call out names and not take blame of something that they did wrong. Like, dude, if you find yourself, and this is something that y'all did wrong, admit it. But you will he's a man that always will say, oh, I did right, I did this, I did that. It's a I. It's never a we kind of thing. Also, Chuck Schumer has pissed off a lot of people. The minority leader, Chuck Schumer, a lot of liberal groups, I'm reading this by Politico, a lot of liberal groups calls for Schumer to step down as minority leader after spending bill vote. It says here that the liberal organizing group Indivisible said recently it was calling for Senate minority leader Chuck Schumer to step down from the leadership role, the latest fallout after he backed a GOP bill to keep the government open. Now, when I just read that first paragraph, the first thing that comes to mind is that, okay, would you want to, he's keeping the government open, which says, okay, folks can still work. Now, if the government was going to be if there was going to be a government shutdown, pricing and everything is already high. So a government shutdown will cause folks to not work, not get paid, and that can hurt a lot of families. So in my mind, I'm like, wait a minute. If he sided with a bill to keep the government open, isn't that a good thing, right? The group calls in the latest sign of just how much Schumer's decision to vote for a Republican bill has angered the Democratic grassroots itching for a fight with Donald Trump. Now, here's the thing. There's just a lot of folks that are just going to be bitter because it's Donald Trump. There's going to be folks that are just going to say, look, I don't like Trump, and I'm not going to side with any of his policies and votes at all whatsoever. Then there's going to be folks who be like, all we can do is continue to fight, back and forth, or we can kind of do something, work somewhat, just a little ounce of let's try and work together in a small way. Let me go ahead and share you this. I want to share you this image that kind of ticked off a lot of folks. If I can find it, right there. you see him embracing. Oh, you can't tell in that image if they are embracing each other, or Schumer looks like he has a finger, like looking at Trump, saying, "All right, now let me just," like people are thinking Schumer is like Team Trump all of a sudden now, and I don't know. I really do not know personally. I don't. I have to read a little more into it. I just think of it like this, and this is why I'm an independent, because both sides, at the end of the day, need help. I think both sides can be a disaster for for society, because you got folks in leadership that are going to do what they can to help to benefit their own personal position, their own personal gain. Um, that's just me. That's just me. I have about 4 minutes left, and I might continue this on the next show. But just to continue this article, it says many Democrats saw potential government shutdown as one of the party's sole points of leverage on the government funding bill, as Trump and Elon Musk have moved to shutter programs and cancel spending previously accoladed. So they had a way. They're like, hey, look, we have leverage. The Democratic Party's like, we have this leverage. Why are you siding with him to say this is the right thing to do? You're focusing on folks who are like, again, and I'm just speaking hypothetically, like maybe he's focusing on folks keeping food on their table rather than saying, okay, look, let's not worry about leverage if they're trying to, because we don't know what it can lead to. Now we kind of see their strategy sucks as far as Musk and Trump, because it's causing a lot of disasters with voters. Voters who voted for Trump are not too happy with the whole Elon Musk position in the White House, his access to a lot of personal things and whatnot. But Schumer and a handful of Democrats aligned with him argue during a so would only give the pair more power. Senator John Fetterman out of Pennsylvania, he's in agreement with with Schumer, because here's the thing: Fetterman's kind of like now the new Joe Manchin, right? He's coming across as the new kind of moderate Democrat who's really he was the only Democrat that I would say showed up at the at the inauguration, one of the only few. And then also he's the only Democrat to my knowledge that joined Truth Social. I mean, he's doing a lot to try and make amends, to say, okay, look, we need ways to work together and not be so divisive, which, hey, I believe in that. I truly do believe in that. But my friends, look, my time is running short. I'm going to continue on this story of, again, why the Democratic Party's favorability polling is decreasing, because there's multiple stuff I can share, but I'm not going to have that kind of time on today's show. But please stay with us. Tune in for the next show for another episode of the Arrington Gavin Show. Continue to support the program. Follow us on social media. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't. Also our Rumble channel. Leave us a comment and give us 5 stars on podcast platforms. Also, download GOATverse TV app today. Download the app. It's free. App Store, Google Play Store, Roku, and Amazon Fire. Peace and blessings, y'all. Y'all take care. God bless. I will see you next time for another great episode of the Arrington Gavin Show.